one of the most important foundations of any woke production has to be the message. The message, you would argue, is more important than the story and far more important than the lore of that particular franchise. As you can see in this picture, which is now going viral on Twitter with people mocking it and calling it a small level above South Park's "there took our jobs" type of joke, you have what appears to be the bad guy doing racismus against the elves in the world of Tolkien. Now, the world of Tolkien is a medieval society. It doesn't function the same like capitalism does. You wouldn't have people taking someone's jobs because professions, in almost every single case, with few exceptions, were something that was passed down through the families. In other words, you would be a blacksmith because your dad was a blacksmith, and he was a blacksmith because his dad was a blacksmith, so on and so forth. There were exceptions, of course, but this was pretty much the rule. And secondly, the elves in Lord of the Rings aren't the same like the elves from Dungeons and Dragons. In Lord of the Rings, they're pure good, almost angelic-like beings, and there is no way that they would want to live with humans, because they would know that this would harm humans if they did so. I mean, think about it from a logical standpoint. Elves in Lord of the Rings aren't the same like different race of people in our reality. Elves from Lord of the Rings, they live forever, unless they're killed, like they go to battle and someone fires an arrow at them. They do not die from old age, nor do they die from diseases. So there are elves that are thousands of years old. Now imagine the knowledge and wisdom that elf possesses. And on top of that, let's say he picks up a trade. Like, let's say he does carpentry. And he does carpentry for 500 years, because he can do that, right? Like, he's an elf. What type of human can even compete with that level of craftsmanship? Like, it's impossible, right? Like, if you had this type of world where, let's say, the nobles are hiring tradesmen, why on earth would you ever hire a human? Like, even the most skilled human carpenter would only have a couple of decades of experience, but then you have an elf with centuries of experience in carpentry. There is no way you can compete with that. And we're talking at any single level. Like, even poetry, right? Like, someone who lived for thousands of years would have the knowledge to write poetry that no human would be even able to dream of. So, in this situation, yeah, it would be justified if people were a little bit upset about elves taking their jobs, because, like, again, they would not be able to compete. Even Tolkien jokes about this. There's a scene where Aragorn places his ear on the ground, and after listening for a couple of minutes, he says, "There's horsemen coming towards us." To which Legolas says something in the lines of, "Oh, I've been seeing them for the last 25 minutes. There's 32 of them. I can see their spears shining in the sun. The armor of their leader is such and such." Which means that Legolas allowed Aragorn to just sit on the ground for a couple of minutes, acting like an idiot, when his eyes could actually see what Aragorn couldn't. His ears could hear what Aragorn had to strain to hear. The elves are physically better than the humans in the world of Lord of the Rings. So I can sympathize with these people. Yeah, they're definitely in the right. They have their moral fucking high ground. How are they supposed to make a living, writers? How are they supposed to They can't compete. Like, even if they dedicate their entire life to a craft, they'll never be able to compete with that. Have you seen what Galadriel does in your fucking movie, writers? Have you seen what Galadriel... She can fucking swim an entire ocean by her fucking self wearing armor. How do you compete with that? Yeah, these people are the victims. I definitely agree with that. Like, they need to have their own space where they can actually feed their families. Now, I can understand the nobles not giving a fuck, because, like, they can inherit the castle from their parents and whatnot, so they don't have to work, and they can hire the elves. But, like, these people, yeah, they are the one that should get compassion in your fucking woke production. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.